And we were doing the FaceTime with Noah, how chilled he was. Noah is always chilled. Of all the 4 grandsons, I think he's the most chilled. Why?
You said chilled?
Chilled.
The most chill.
Chill.
It's chill, not chilled.
Did I add an ED?
You did.
Well, here's the thing. I add S's too. My whole family knows I add S's to everything.
Oh my gosh.
Because I used to say Baskins and Robbins.
Oh.
Yeah. I say Costco's. I've got a lot of words that end in S. Yeah. Seriously.
Well, Debbie, how was your week?
Well, it was interesting.
Tell me.
Well, I will tell you first of all, because Steve was gone for 6 days, which is rare. He's
That's
rarely
a long time.
We both said it, and he said, I don't want to be gone. But it was
our rule is 2 nights.
Yeah, well, he had some major events going on in Scottsdale, so he just had to be there.
Yeah.
But so last Saturday, I went with my 2 daughters. We went down to 12th South.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't live here, it's a fun place to go. It's a long, long road.
Yeah, and they've really added
restaurants.
So much.
Oh, my gosh.
It's like if you want to be bougie, go to 12 South. Yeah. No, because every bougie place is there.
Now, I've heard that phrase.
This is just education today, Debbie.
What does bougie mean? Because I've heard it.
Bougie just means fancy, flashy, like extra.
Okay, well,
you're going to shell some money out.
Well, it's a little bougie.
Yeah, it's a little bougie there now. Yeah, their stores are very bougie.
Yeah, but has great restaurants. So we ate at Urban Grub, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was just a fun day. And it was beautiful. Got lots of steps in. Then I did some other things after I left them. And then I came home.
Yeah.
So normally,
and you were alone.
I was alone. Steve was out of town, and this was on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And he was getting home on Wednesday. So normally, when you ask me how does my week go, it's not the same, but I always have fun things going on. So to make a very long story short, Jena, my blood pressure just started spiking, and I'm not on high blood pressure medicine.
Yeah.
So from Saturday to Tuesday night, it was a thing.
Yeah.
Like I was feeling strange. My heart would start racing. I would feel like something was just surging in my body.
Yeah.
It was a real thing. And
I
thought, what in the world is going on? Well, I have a blood pressure cuff here. I'm not one of those people that usually does it, but I thought, I better get that thing out. Oh, it would go up really high, then go low, then high. So last Tuesday night.
It's just so scary, especially if you're alone and you're by yourself. And it was just terrifying. The whole thing. Yeah.
It was really scary on Tuesday night. Steve was getting home the next day. I got in bed at 10 o'clock, and from 10 to 12, I thought seriously about calling 911. And because I thought something's happening. I thought for a minute I was having a heart attack.
Wow.
I wasn't sure. It was that.
And probably the fear also doesn't help that, let's be honest, right?
Yeah. And because I was alone, anxiety kind of started coming in. So I literally said this prayer. I said, okay, God, because I want to think through something. I don't want to do something foolish.
Sure.
And I said, if I need to go to the hospital, if I need to go, I need you to kind of show me that quickly. In other words, I think it would have gotten worse, Jena.
Yeah.
And I said, if not, I'm just asking you to get me through the night, and I'll deal with it tomorrow, because I'd already made an appointment to see my doctor the next day.
Got it. Makes sense.
So he got me through the night. I texted both my girls because they didn't even know this had been going on.
Yeah, which...
I know. So I text them.
On behalf of your daughters.
Immediately they start calling me. And Rachel says this. She and Marty are so different. Rachel went, Mother, you could have died by yourself in the house last night and nobody would have known. That was so foolish, Mother. You should have called us. But here again, I hated to call them like at 10 o'clock at night or midnight. So anyway, Rachel comes and gets me. Marnie's texting. Marnie's calling. Well, Mom, are you okay? What's going on? So Rachel takes me to the doctor. She and Marnie are texting Steve on the airplane, giving him updates.
Play by play.
Oh, play by play.
Live tweeting the sitch.
He comes to the doctor's office to meet. So Rachel stayed until he got there. So the bottom line is, I officially have high blood pressure, and they've put me on medication, and it's working.
Yeah, which is
and
great.
I will tell you, I did not want to get on medication, and the Lord showed me it was pride.
Okay, explain.
Oh, yeah. Well, I only take one medication, and I've said this before, I'm going to be 75 my birthday.
Which also, I just picked up on the fact that you are older than Steve.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes, I'm a few years older than Steve.
Look at you, Debbie.
Oh, that's right. That's right, girl. So anyway, it was like, I only take one med.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say, oh, Debbie, are you on Any medication?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I only take one.
Yeah,
It's become,
hair flip.
Yeah, I'm very healthy. I'm very healthy. So it had become a place of pride. I
Sure.
did not want to take it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, by Wednesday, I was almost begging for something. It had been that scary of a week for me.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
And so you don't, for those of you listening, if you have high blood pressure, take care of it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
they got me on it, and I'm adjusting, and the first few days was a little touch and go.
Yeah.
But now I'm in a
You
rhythm.
feel good.
I feel great. I'm feeling normal again.
Yeah, which is
I
important.
didn't feel normal for 6 days. It was scary. So, but what's interesting about that, and I want to hear about your week, we're going to talk about change today.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about. So it's a big change in my life.
Yeah.
Tell me about you.
Well, if we're on the subject of ailments, I might as well
Which
share
we
mine as
rarely
well.
ever talk about.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, always like, I'm too busy.
Yeah.
This week, so Debbie, I have a bad habit.
Oh, me.
And my bad habit is eating popcorn for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and treating it as if it's its own food group.
You even eat it in the morning?
Okay, no, not really. But you get what I'm trying to say. It's like its own
love
food.
it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I have it probably daily.
Oh, yeah.
And like the more you think about it, the more you think about popcorn.
It's good
like,
for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on how you make it. But
well,
the way
yeah.
how I make it, it's a vehicle for salt and butter. But I mean,
we buy Skinny Pop.
good for you. So I'm actually, honestly, I probably should be just a reviewer of popcorn because I've tried every brand, every kind, every flavor, love them all.
Okay.
Well, I have an issue where because I've eaten so much, it sometimes, gets stuck in your teeth.
Oh, bad. Yeah.
Well, I had an instance where I think I just ate a lot of popcorn in a short period of time and was not maybe flossing as I should, which if I'm honest, I went into the dentist office and they said, when did you floss last? I said, when did you, blah, 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 blah.
She rented those lips this week.
When did you floss last? And I said, I'm just going to tell it to you straight. I couldn't tell you the last time I flossed because I hate flossing.
Yeah.
And she goes, I appreciate your honesty because most people aren't honest to us.
Wow.
So you know what? Just be honest to your doctors.
That's right.
Anyways, so then she could help me a little bit better, right? She's like, I just think that you probably you have a weird molar back here. It's angled weird. I was so swollen, Debbie. It was like swollen to touch. And I had texted you and I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to film this weekend because I kind of talking a little funny and it was super swollen. And it was like, I was worried I had a cavity. Like I was just really.
Could you eat?
I couldn't eat on this side. It was just all kinds of uncomfortable. Couldn't really sleep on that side. And so finally, I went to the dentist. Thankfully, I don't have a cavity. I don't have, both of our ailment stories ended up being okay.
There you go.
I just had probably a weird kernel and it's just probably irritated it.
Kernel
it's gone.
just got you irritated.
And I, had to go to the dentist, like an emergency. Brent's like, go to the dentist. We need to make sure there's nothing wrong with you. I'm like, I'll go when I go. And he's like, you need to prioritize going to the doctor. I'm like, I'll go when I go.
Taking care of your health.
So
here's the thing. Now, do you use dental floss or the picks?
Okay, so I just bought the dental pick.
They're incredible.
That's
they come
what I've
in
heard.
little packs. Yeah.
Yeah, the pick.
I switched a long time
I got a water
ago.
pick.
The
You got a water
ones.
Pick. Yes, because I think I could stomach that more than like putting like a literal pick into my like it's just not my thing.
Yeah, there you go.
I just know.
Y'all, we're here for everything.
Yeah, we're here for
dental flossing. We're here for high blood pressure. Whatever you need, we are here for you.
Yeah, be honest to your doctors. That's my message of the day.
There you go. There you go.
So that was my week. I was dealing with that,
Good.
feeling better though today. I don't feel like I look too crazy. It's on this side.
At
so,
all.
I mean, I was bold enough to put my hair back, which is the
did.
first.
And I like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to like it. We're going to see.
I like it.
If you don't see me ever do it again, you'll know that I hated it on the rewatch.
There you go. Well, and my challenge is my girls say, Mother, you're getting helmet hair.
You're getting, oh my gosh, it's literally like the Steel Magnolias quote, legitimately.
Old people, they can get like a helmet hair. So one of my goals in life is to not get helmet hair.
You don't have helmet hair.
Well, thank you, Jena.
You have very nice coiffed Southern lady hair.
Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, it is a compliment. Oh, it's definitely a compliment.
There you go.
And I
Okay,
mean that, like a Southern, I want to be like a Southern woman. So
there you go.
Well,
there you go. I love it.
It's like between you, Dolly Parton, and Leanne Morgan, I am set for being like, this is what I want to be like when I'm old.
A combination of those three would be crazy. Yeah.
Winning all around.
Leanne Morgan is a stitch.
Well, you watched the special, didn't you?
I did. She's funny as all get out.
Yeah. My husband watches a lot of stand-up. Some of it's probably not, I wouldn't recommend you watching it.
No, I would not.
But he was in stitches over her.
Oh, she's funny as all
She
get out.
is so funny. And her husband's relationship, I was just peeing my pants. If you haven't listened to her special, y'all,
it's funny.
She is so good. I literally texted Debbie and I said, one of my dream guests is to have Leanne Morgan on our podcast.
Well, you never
talking
know.
about funny things in Jesus.
That's
right. I mean, it's what she does normally. But
well, that's right. And see, I'd love to have Nate Bargatze. Oh my gosh.
There you go.
He's my
Let's just
favorite.
put that out into the ether.
That's right. If Leanne or Nate, either one want to join us,
you're more than welcome.
It's an open invitation.
Open invitation.
All right.
Speaking of, what are we speaking about today,
We're going to
Debbie?
talk about change. And this is what's interesting. I had already started thinking about this and taking notes, because y'all know I'm a note taker, before the high blood pressure thing happened.
Yeah.
So, I have learned, Jena, that usually when I teach something, I'm going to get to experience it somewhere along the line. So I'm going to talk about change. And what I put down is that change is inevitable. I mean, it's going to happen. I used to think, which was wrong, that the older I got, I would have less change. Oh, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
The older you get, you have more change. But I want to read something. I just love this. I follow this young woman on Instagram. Her name is Raquel, and she refers to her, she's a counselor, a psychologist.
Yeah. Oh, you've sent me some of her stuff.
And she refers to herself as a capacity expert. And what she desires to do, because she said most people avoid pain, they avoid change, they try to avoid things which they don't grow.
Yeah, right.
And so she says she wants to help them build capacity.
Good.
Isn't
Love
that good?
that.
So listen to this quote, y'all, that she talked about change. I thought this was great.
We'll have to tag her in one of the episodes.
Let's do.
Yeah.
I mean, because I love this. She said, "You're not a victim of change. You're a participant in evolving. Nothing ever stays the same, and that's not something to fear."
Yeah.
Because don't most people fear change?
Yeah, most people do.
And I love that. She said, nothing ever stays the same, and that's not something to fear. It's your invitation to grow, to expand, to meet life as it is, not as it was. Is that not so good?
So good.
I mean, I just thought that was an incredible quote.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about change today. And as followers of Christ, how do we respond to change?
Yeah.
Because people are going to respond to change one way or another.
Totally. Is change hard for you?
It's interesting. Some changes are, and so I'm going to give you an example of something that I don't like.
Go ahead.
All right. So if I go on a trip, I like to stay in one hotel room, unpack, get everything, all my comfort things settled. If we have to take a vacation and I'm changing room to room,
you feel like a vagabond.
I do not do well.
Yeah.
I can't find my stuff. I don't.
Yeah.
I get out of sorts.
Sure.
Some things I like to stay the same.
Yeah.
And if they get disrupted, it's a challenge for me. But I'm learning. It's an invitation to grow.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that. So
now,
some things
Steve,
I do
does he like change?
Steve French can adapt to any change. I've never
Me and him are more alike than I am.
I have never seen anybody.
Gosh, so
y'all,
funny.
you could drop Steve right now in Egypt. Let me give you an example.
Yeah, he figured it out.
He'd figure it out.
Yeah.
Within 24 hours, he would know where everything is. He would
probably
try to
make a best friend too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So change does not even hardly affect him.
Friend says that I like to just thrust change into life just because I feel like it would be fun.
You sound like Steve. And Brent's more like me.
Yeah. Y'all are similar.
We like some things to stay the same, but what I've learned is that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
So therefore, I need to grow and adapt to change, not look at things the way they were.
Yeah.
But as they could be.
Yep. So good.
So we're going to talk about change. So here's a question for you, Jena.
Ooh,
you ready?
It. Yeah.
Okay. I said, when was there a time in your life when a big change occurred? Now, it could be a good change or a hard change.
Sure.
And how did you respond to that change?
Well, a big change was moving. The first thing that popped into my brain was moving from New York City to Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Actually, not even Nashville, to Franklin, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Big change.
Okay.
Like, my whole entire social life was in New York City.
Yeah.
My whole professional life had been in New York City. And I knew like 2 people here when I moved to Nashville. Like, I didn't really know anybody.
And you had no family here.
I had no family here.
Right.
No friends. Just felt like I was supposed to move here, which obviously I'm grateful for. I met you 2 months later after moving here, which is so funny to think about. But, you know, for me, I was ready for that change. That change had been in the process for a very long time.
Okay.
And so for me, I felt like change was, I thrived on it. I welcomed it. It was a great experience for me.
Okay.
It was a great change for me. I do feel like I am much better, ironically enough, which may not support you in whatever you're trying to showcase this morning.
That's okay.
But I do feel like for me, I actually do really well in change.
Yeah. Some people kind of
enjoy
a change.
I enjoy change. I feel like becoming a mother was not stressful for me. And that's like a really big thing for people.
I've watched that in you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like you just flowed right into having those kids. Yeah.
Yeah. And like marriage, that change to getting married wasn't like those big life changes that people talk about are not as hard for me. It's more the like
I was gonna
having to change my mindset around something. That's harder.
Oh.
Like
can you think of an example?
Stubborn.
Can you think of anything?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it could be anything from as simple as like, I want my eggs made a certain way, and like not wanting that change.
It's the little things.
Little things to like my mindset around, I'm trying to think of a non-controversial thing. That's more why I'm stumbling.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
There are some things that are more mindset driven for me that are harder for me to change my mind. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. That what the definition of success for me. Like, if you have to tell me how to change, like that, changing my mindset around what success looks like to something more holy is hard for me.
So if I said to you right now, Jenna, what does success look like for you?
Do you want the honest answer?
I do. Okay. No, I do.
So I would say success looks to me like I have more money in my bank account. I'm just being honest. More money in my bank account.
And I appreciate it.
A bigger house with more bedrooms so our family can come. There's a like magnanimous part to that. So a bigger house where our family can come to, and that that eventually I don't have to work. That's what success looks like to me.
Okay.
I'm talking about professional success. If I look about it from that vantage point.
Okay.
That's what success looks like to me. And so getting out of the mindset of like, what if, I've asked this question of myself this year, what if you never get to that level of financial success?
Yeah.
Will it be okay?
How would you respond to that? Because that's what we're talking about.
It's taken me a long time to be okay with it. But I think I have finally released it to be like, Lord, whatever you want.
Okay.
And I trust you that I'm not going to be destitute on the side of the road.
That's right, Jenna.
And so whatever you want, whatever life you want us to have in whatever house and whatever bank account, all those different things, I'm okay with that. But that was years in the making of that change. So
and
like
isn't that a great
very
place
resistant
to get to that place?
Yes, it's very freeing for sure.
What do you think helps you get to that place?
Tears.
Fighting against it. Yeah.
I mean, truly, I think my husband's been a huge part of that. It's been a lot of wrestling and being forced to be in the deep end and being forced to recognize that I can't go on in this capacity any longer.
That's right.
So I must change. The pain, as my husband says, the pain got great enough that you had to do something about it.
There you go.
And so that is for me.
Usually what happens. Usually people, it has to get so painful that they go, I can't do this anyway.
Yeah.
And I bet if I asked Brent that same question, he'd have a different answer.
Oh, he'd totally have it. That's not his thing.
Yeah.
His is totally something different.
Yeah. And Steve, his idea of success now is so different than if you'd ask him in his 30s or 40s.
Exactly.
Yeah, or maybe even 50s.
Yeah, it's just different. It looks different. And so I would say change for me in mindset is harder than like big life changes I welcome. I'm like, oh, it's going to be my next, I guess, and the third
like
baby.
An adventure.
It's an adventure for me. Yeah, that would be the next one. It'd be like, okay, what's the big?
Yeah.
I'm going to give Brent a break from the big life-altering big changes.
I think that's a great, Brent, I'm with you on that one. Yeah, we'll hold her accountable to that.
Yeah, he's like, patience, please. Just garner some patience. So that's my answer.
Good.
Really long answer.
Well, that's all right. Because, change, and here again, Steve and I, we're very different. He can adapt to changes quickly. I don't. I'm a processor.
Yeah.
So sometimes if there's a big change, it just takes me a while.
Yeah.
I kind of have to process through that, and but not to fight against it. I
have a quick question for you. Just because you brought it up earlier.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be helpful for listeners.
Okay.
So we mentioned being a mother. That's a big life change for people can
Jenna.
be very jarring. And I just personally have never related to feeling like that was an overwhelming experience.
Okay.
I actually was just like, I don't know. It just wasn't for me.
Because for some people,
I think for most people, actually, it very much is.
Overwhelming.
I feel like I can't. But for you, was becoming a mother an overwhelming experience for you? Do you feel like was that a change that it was hard for you?
Jena, looking back, I would say no. I think I did adapt to that pretty quickly. I was very young.
Yeah,
I was 18 when I had Marnie.
Yeah.
And 5 years later, I had Rachel.
Yeah.
And I think I wanted to be a mom, so I kind of embraced that.
Sure.
Because I have seen some women it's really, really hard for them.
It's very hard.
So, no, I feel like I kind of embraced that.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy being a single mom at first, at 18 and working and having a child. But I just, I tried to flow into that.
Yeah. Okay. I was just more curious. I don't think I ever asked you that question, and wondering if I know I'm thinking of listeners of this podcast, and I know that it's a hard transition. There's a lot of pieces to it.
That's right. And especially I think for women that were maybe a career
totally,
path.
Which is weird that it wasn't weird for me.
I know.
I think because I just owned it and was like, this is just the next. I waited so
something
long.
You wanted,
I wanted for so long that it was, I think, easier for me to be like, finally, we're here.
It was a gift to you.
Yeah, I think it really was.
A gift to you.
I think it was. And I, to be fair, my husband was very present in my postpartum experience, which is not the situation for most women. Especially if their husbands go back into an office or something. I just didn't have that story. Anyways, enough about that.
It's different with every person. Well, what was interesting, I put down what were some changes in my life. That were not, and it wasn't having children. It's when Marnie and Rachel left the house. When they went away to college.
I could see that.
And then eventually they had 2 apartments together at different times. They lived together.
Fun.
And here's what was crazy. Even though I had things in my life, I was very involved. Even at ministry, I was involved with the ministry with Pam. We spoke in schools, and then we also had work in Ghana, West Africa. When both of the girls were gone, this was so interesting. I thought I was adapting pretty well. I thought, I'm doing good. I've got this. Well, Jena, whatever I was doing every day, Monday through Friday, if I was out and about, I didn't realize it at first, but I had this need to be home by 3:30. It was like, it's almost 3:30. I need to get home.
I need to go.
And I wasn't really thinking. I thought, I'm finished. I need to get home. Well, one day it was like a light bulb went off for me. It was like, I'm still living like the girls are coming home from school. And I felt this need to be home. Because, Jena, think about it. Your kids are in school for 12 years. And then Rachel was 5 years younger. So for 17 years, that was my daily role. And so wherever I was going to be home. So I remember going, wow, I'm still living in that mindset.
Yes.
I haven't changed that mindset.
Yes.
That they're not going to be home. So I literally kind of started switching my daily routines.
Yeah.
And I purposefully made myself do things later in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So I was out later, and I might not get home till 4:30 or 5 and start getting dinner ready for me and Steve.
Yeah.
But it was a big change. It was a big adjustment for me.
Yeah.
So that was just one that I wrote down.
Well, I could imagine that, right? I think about that now that I'm in the kid thing.
Yeah.
I understand that you put a decade plus of doing all of that stuff in your life centering largely, as it should be, around your children and their activities and da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they leave, and then you're like, now what? What do I do now? Especially, I think this is even more true for stay-at-home moms.
Yeah.
Or stay-at-home parents, whatever that looks like. If somebody is the primary caretaker and that is their job, right? That's your job. And it's almost like you got fired from your job. Yeah,
it's a real thing.
Yes, I totally get it.
It's funny because, and I've told Marnie and Rachel, I'm going to have my daughters on here.
Yeah.
Once Jena and I kind of get this whole thing under our belt.
Figure it out, yeah.
But Rachel, for the first time this year, became an empty nester.
Yeah.
Now, she does work. She works 3 days a week, so she has that. But she's adjusted pretty well to it, but still there's that. She said the other day, I said, well, how is it? She went, well, the main thing, she said, Mom, I think Sandy and I have adjusted, and they have a great relationship.
Sure,
she said,
which helps.
But no kidding.
Yeah.
And she said, but it can be really quiet sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that, so, but then she said she had some couples over for dinner.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. So you just kind of have to change. You don't have to, but it's healthy.
Yeah.
If you change some of your habits and you start doing things differently, have some couples in, have dinner, play some games, whatever. You need to adapt to changes. I had put down my mother and my grandmother, when they started living with us downstairs, it was the total opposite of my girls leaving because they left. Well, my grandmother and my mother started staying 6 months a year here at my grandmother, not 6 months, but my mom 6 months a year. Well, then I was almost like in that role again, even though they were independent. So that was another big life change.
Yeah, totally. Totally makes sense. Yeah, I think that's fun. Can you explain that a little bit about your mother came to stay with you for long periods of time, which was awesome.
Right. Well, we have had an apartment in our house downstairs.
Yeah.
And my sister at that time, they had an apartment in their house. So at that time when my grandmother was still living, they would come for 2 and 3 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
But that was really not good, because they couldn't hardly stay long enough.
Yeah, of course.
So they're going back and forth. But after my grandmother moved to heaven, then my mom would come and stay 3 months with us, 3 months with my sister.
Yeah.
And even though my mother was in good health, I will tell you, one of the things that I had to adapt to, because I still was living my life. She was still driving at that time. When I would get home in the afternoons, the first thing I would do is I would go downstairs to check on her to make sure she was okay. Just in the back of my mind, because she liked to go outside.
Sure. So of course.
She could have fallen. So I went from my girls leaving to then a few years later, my mom moves downstairs.
Yeah.
And even though she lived independently, she was still here. And
of course.
I loved it when she cooked for us. I missed that.
Yeah.
Because she'd cook dinner for us sometimes. But all of those, Jena, are big, big life changes. Becoming a grandmother.
Yeah.
So tell me about some other changes in your life.
Oh, gosh. I mean, getting married.
Yeah.
Big change for me, for sure. I would say going to college was a big change.
Yeah.
Honestly, going to college was probably, looking back, I probably didn't have the vantage point when I was in the moment of it, but it was a big life change. I was going to a school that...
Where did you go to school, by the way?
Went to a school called Lehigh University.
Okay.
It's in Pennsylvania. Most people don't know it here.
L-E-E?
L-E-H-I-G-H.
Okay, Lehigh University. And where is it?
It's in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania. And so I went to a school that I didn't fit in.
Okay.
So that was a really big change for me.
Hard,
I was the poor kid at the school, but I was probably very averagely middle class, our family growing up, or middle class, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was a poor kid. There were kids driving Porsches.
Oh, gosh, Jena.
My school was the safety school for the Harvard kids.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Oh, wow.
It was my stretch school. But to give you kind of an idea of I went to school with the CEO's daughter of Urban Outfitters. She was in my class. That kind of caliber of wealth that I just never had been exposed to. And so it was just a big life change for me. It was really hard. Sure. I really didn't feel looking back on that, I did not fit in there.
Well, because you could compare yourself.
It wasn't even that. I just didn't have anything in common.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
It wasn't even maybe some comparison obviously happened, but I think I was removed. You weren't seeing people's big homes or anything like that because you're all in college dorms, but it was just a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
So that was a big change for me. And then, I think becoming a mom was obviously the other big change. Oh, gosh. So
I think that's one of the biggest changes that you could ever go through in your life. Let's see. What else did I have here? That's pretty much the end of it. This was not going to be a really, really long one. Yeah. I just thought we'd talk about change. But here's what's interesting, Jena.
Yeah, tell me.
Because, I was also served in Ghana, West Africa for 25 years and taking teams back and forth.
Yeah.
I was ready for that change to end, but I will tell you, I missed it for a while.
Yeah.
And there's still aspects of it that I really, really miss. I miss going to Africa.
Yeah.
We still are in constant touch with them.
Sure.
And we FaceTime and all that. But that was another big change. But here's what I wrote down. There truly is, as believers in Christ, because the whole thing was, how do we respond as believers?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to talk about. My mother and my grandmother were two of my greatest examples for responding in a Christ-like manner with change.
Yeah.
They didn't fight change. They weren't bitter about change. They both lost their husbands. And although they had great marriages, they were sad. But Jena, they changed and they adapted. My mother left here and moved to an independent living at 92 years old. And she talks about the first day when she got up and she went into the dining hall. and she knew nobody in the room.
Wow.
And she said she stood there with her little walker thinking, where should I go sit? Think of a change like that for a 92-year-old.
I know.
So that's what I'm saying. You can have a choice. Steve's mother, and Steve's okay with me sharing this, his mother did not adapt well to change. She fought it. She was angry. She was bitter about any change. And consequently, she missed out on a lot of blessings, Jena.
Wow.
A lot of things that I think God had for her, but she was stuck in that. I want to go back to Arizona. And she couldn't. Steve was her only child, and we needed her close because she was in a assisted living facility. But she never really fully embraced it. So I had the two different comparisons.
Wow.
My mother and my grandmother, who they may not have wanted the change, but they adapted and they responded in a Christ-like manner. And then I had a mother-in-law who was just never really happy here. And she missed out on a lot. You know?
Yeah. What do you see her missing out on? Like, if you could, you're not specifically, but just generally speaking, if we're resistant to change, what are some of the blessings that we could miss out on?
Oh my gosh, Jena. Like, for example, I don't think she allowed herself to even become friends with people where she lived because she kept thinking about what was, the quote that I put, rather than being stuck in what was, is to embrace what God has for you now. And we miss great blessings, Jena, if we're always looking back. It's kind of like if you're driving a car and you're always looking in the rearview mirror, what's going to happen? You're going to crash. You're going to crash. So many people, if you don't adapt to the changes, you're just going to become bitter and angry and hard-hearted. And what a pitiful way to live your latter years. So I want to, the older I get, whatever changes God has for me, to not fight against them. I'll always remember a friend of ours who was a professional football player, and he played with a guy, they played for the Seattle Seahawks. And one of the guys, and at this time, our friend was not a believer. Well, this guy on his team was a believer, a real strong believer in Christ. Well, he blew his knee out, totally blew it out. And he knew his career was over. Well, when it happened, they took him back in the back. I can't believe I'm sharing this story. So Sharon, if you hear it, I hope you'll enjoy it. So our friend said he waited to the end to go in and see him. He wanted to see how he was going to respond because he was a follower of Christ. He knew this guy loved the Lord. This guy was not a believer.
Wow.
And he thought, man, I'm going to see how he responds to this. He goes into the locker room, and this guy's laid on a table, professional football player. And he walks up to him, and Sherman said, man, I'm just so sorry this happens. And do you know how the football player responded to him? He said, man, Sherman, I'm excited. He said, I can't wait to see what God has for me next.
Whoa.
He ended up pastoring one of the largest churches in Seattle.
Wow.
What a perspective.
Yes.
Rather than, man, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe God let this happen to me. He said, man, I can't wait to see. Now, Jena, that is when you are following Christ with that mindset. When something happens, there's a scripture that says, and all things work together for the good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. He knew in that moment, he was in the word of God, that thing had happened for his good, blowing his knee out. But if he had fought that and said, I can't believe this, I'm angry and bitter, his life would have been very, very different. So I put, for the closing, we always have a scripture. For me, I'm at that place in my life. I love this scripture, Hebrews 13:8. And what I was going to say to people watching, this is such an easy scripture to memorize. It's Hebrews 13:8. And this is what it says. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's the one constant thing in our life, Jena. Changes are going to come and go, some by choices we make. Some changes come out of the blue that you're not prepared for.
Totally.
But if Jesus is the one constant thing, he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Think of how that can change your mindset when a change comes. He's going to be with you through every change, whatever's happened in the past, whatever's happened in the present, and things that might happen in the future. He's the one constant thing in our life.
I love that.
Tell me what you think about that.
Oh gosh, Debbie, I feel like I just want you to keep talking about it because I feel like so many people are probably listening to this and they're maybe resisting a change that's going on in their life or a disappointment or I really wish that God wouldn't have done this thing. I wouldn't have gotten sick. I wouldn't have gotten hurt. I wouldn't have had this financial troubles. I wouldn't have like, et cetera, et cetera. I wish I didn't have fertility. But to have the perspective of, I'm excited to see what God has.
What God has.
Yeah. It made me think of a story, and I cannot remember her name. I think her name is Melissa. I'm totally blanking on it. But she had gone through multiple miscarriages. Heard her on a podcast years ago. I think I listened to the podcast probably 5 times because I was so inspired by her story.
Yeah.
And she had multiple, devastating miscarriages. And I think they had just pretty much given up hope that they were going to bear children.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting the opportunity to adopt, I believe, 2 children.
Oh, wow.
And she said, and it was going to make me cry, she said, isn't it like God not to just bless my life, but to do a double blessing by blessing those children's life? And when she, just having that perspective of I didn't get what I wanted,
there
I
you
got
go.
something better.
Got something better.
And God's plans are so much greater than
Jenna.
my plans. Oh. And so I think about that. And I also thought about, my husband often says the phrase of, you have to accept life on life's terms. And you can either choose to accept it or choose to not. Either way, you're going through it.
That's it.
And so you might as well accept it and see what's next for you. And so I love what you said here. What question would you have for somebody that's thinking, that's maybe experiencing change or about to experience change or doesn't want to go through change?
Well, my question would be, how do you respond when change happens? And do you have the mindset, and if you're a follower of Christ, that Jesus will be with you through every change? There are things that we cannot control. So ask yourself the question. You may not be in a change right now, but trust me, you will be. So the question is, how do you respond when a change occurs in your life?
That's good, Debbie.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I would love for folks to simmer on that. And if you are watching on YouTube, we'd love if you become a subscriber. So hit that bell and you can get notified of future episodes. Or if you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, we'd love a review from you. But without further ado, we will see you next week on another episode of My Southern Godmother.